Most men think that getting lean wrecks your hormones, but I've sat at 11% body fat for 10 years since competing in natural bodybuilding, and my testosterone levels have never been better. If you lead a high performing career, team, or business, and you're worried that getting too lean is going to cost you your edge, well, that's probably one reason why you're still stuck with a belly. So I'll show you the 5 things that actually keep your testosterone high no matter your age and the evidence behind this. So just quickly, here is my actual blood work from July 2026. The total testosterone came in at 27 nanomoles per liter, the top quarter of the normal range. My free test, the part that your body actually uses, sits in the middle. And that's because the SHBG, the sex hormone binding globulin protein that binds testosterone and makes it unavailable, my one runs a little bit higher than average. So the actual impressive number isn't always the one that matters. So keeping the one that actually matters, free testosterone optimal, and in the mid to high range is where you want to be. And that's what this video is all about. So many guys assume a low sex drive or flat energy is just part of getting older. But even if you're training hard and you're cutting out the crap food, not drinking alcohol every day, and you're eating healthy meals and you're still over this 20% body fat, well then that's quietly working against your hormones. The fat sitting under your skin around the belly, the chest, and the hips, which you can see and you can grab, contains an enzyme called aromatase. Now, a 2025 study in the Journal of Clinical Endocrinology and Metabolism found that aromatase is elevated in the fat tissue of men with obesity, and our testosterone drops as those markers rise. So it's not that your body has stopped producing testosterone, but more of it is getting converted into the wrong hormone, and that is estrogen, before the test can really do its job. So that shift is what can show up as men having man boobs that won't respond to training, and more water retention that just kind of makes you look soft and puffy even when you're eating clean food. However, this is something that you can start fixing today without reaching for steroids or any other medication, because generally the leaner you get, especially once you're below 20%, the less aromatase there is to blunt testosterone production. If this is clicking for you, this is exactly what we solve with the men in my one-to-one coaching. Links in the description for more details. But here's the mistake almost every guy makes when he cuts out carbs, quits alcohol, changes every dinner and lunch, buys supplements, rejoins the gym, all while working 40, 50 hours a week. That's a common trap I see all the time. Think of boosting your testosterone and getting lean like clearing a blocked pipe, not building a new pipe or shoving more things in the pipe. If you've got multiple blocks, adding more stuff to your plate isn't going to fix it, right? You need to remove the blocks. So adding another supplement or a difficult diet or a complicated 5-day per week training routine that doesn't even fit your schedule and takes time away from your family, on top of bad irregular sleep and a stressed out body and mind, isn't going to fix anything. This is just more pressure on a pipe that's already blocked. And this is why often guys go all out and then drop it like it's hot when things get too much to handle or life gets in the way. So before we add anything, we need to find what is actually blocking you. Now, most guys don't want to hear or focus on this first block, but it is the reason that they're getting hungry all the time, making bad decisions, skipping training, and then giving up over and over and regaining. I'm going to show you why this happens. You might tell yourself that I sleep 6 hours a night and I feel fine because you're still getting through the day, but most of your daily testosterone release actually happens while you're asleep, not while you're up and on a daily grind. So cutting sleep short, whether it's deliberate or it's not deliberate, you're cutting off the window your body actually uses to produce more of it. And a study out of the University of Chicago put young, healthy men on 5 hours of sleep a night for 1 week, and their testosterone dropped by 10 to 15%. And that is roughly the decline you would expect from natural aging over 10 to 15 years. And this is happening just in 1 week with young, healthy men. You wouldn't expect yourself to be sharp and making important decisions in your work on shitty sleep and your hormones that way either. So first, you want to get real light in your eyes first thing in the morning. It sets up your circadian rhythm for the rest of the day, also known as your body clock. Second thing is you want to keep bright screens off the last hour before bed. And now this one study found that melatonin was 3 times higher under red light than blue light after 2 hours in the men that they tested. So if you have to, use night mode. If you're having trouble getting to sleep because there's too many lights on in the house, or you can simply turn them off. Third thing, if you're consistently under 7 hours in bed, push your bedtime 30 minutes earlier at a time until you get up to 7.5 to 8 hours of time in bed. And you want to use an alarm to actually go to bed, not just to wake you up in the morning. And ideally, don't eat within at least 3 hours before bed. Limit your fluids so that your digestive system calms down. No alcohol close to bed either. It raises your heart rate and your body temperature right when your body is trying to calm down. Also, a nightcap is bullcrap. So your sleep sets the stage, but it's not going to undo what is going wrong in your training, and that is where we're headed next. If you're already pushing through, or you've tried to in the past to do like 5-6 hard sessions a week, and you're not seeing or maintaining the changes that you wanted, that is not a training problem. Because if you're never recovering, then there's no extra progress. There's just an accumulation of fatigue and stress in the body. And your body doesn't actually know the difference between hard training and a stressful week at the level of the nervous system, and a bad night's sleep, and all this just lands on that same stress response. A 2026 review in the International Journal of Impotence Research found that the acute stress causes a short dip in testosterone that recovers on its own, but chronic stress without real recovery causes sustained suppression. So training hard isn't the problem. Training hard on top of a body that never gets to recover is costing you optimal hormone levels. 3 properly recovered sessions, intense workouts a week will do more for you than 5 sessions where you're kind of running on empty and burnt out by Thursday. You still want to keep pushing progression, but doing less, and then protect that recovery time as if it's actually part of the training routine, because it is. It's not a reward for finishing it. But recovery will not be optimized without your nutrition, which also plays a key role in your testosterone levels. And here's how that works. If you're already dialing in your training and you're pushing protein up, hoping it's going to do some magic and move the needle, there's a mineral you're probably overlooking completely. But just blindly eating more protein isn't actually some magical lever that people say it is and think it is. A 2022 meta-analysis in the Nutrition and Health, which was 27 studies and 309 men, found a very high protein diet, over 3.4 grams per kilo, combined with low carb, measurably lowered testosterone. So loading up on extra protein shakes isn't necessary. What actually matters is just not running low on protein in the first place, since it's still essential for recovery and helping you hold onto the muscle. The mineral that is actually doing the heavy lifting here is zinc. Now, a study restricting zinc intake in healthy young men for 20 weeks saw their testosterone fall from an average of 39.9 down to 10.6 nanomoles per liter. So your body actually uses zinc as a direct ingredient in the enzyme process that produces testosterone. So running low on zinc means that you're kind of bottlenecking your own production line. So red meat, shellfish, and pumpkin seeds are high sources of zinc, and most men simply aren't getting enough. If you'd rather supplement with this, I would recommend get a blood test first, check with your doctor, rather than guessing and just assuming it's, eating random foods or if supplement's going to fix it. So with sleep, training, and nutrition dialed in, there's still one more thing working against almost every guy who's watching this video, and it's not a physical thing. So the last thing on this list isn't a study or some supplement. It's what you're quietly tolerating every day without realizing it. It's not one big stressful event, but it's that constant low-grade stuff. The notification that you answer instantly, the conversation that you keep avoiding and stressing about, the yes you didn't actually want to commit to. Now, none of that spikes hard enough to register as some major flight or fight response, but your body still logs it. And the same chronic stress pathway that decays your testosterone over time that we just covered keeps running in the background because of this. So this isn't about managing more stress better. It's about what you're still allowing to run in the background that you actually have the authority to stop. Now, for some men, this goes deeper than deadlines or friction at home or their nervous system, because their nervous system has been on alert probably since childhood. And that's more than what this video can fix. And if you can relate to that, like I can, the same principle still applies. The aim is to get a system that no longer is fighting yourself. It's not about more willpower stacked on top of existing stress. And this is about shifting from the guy who quietly is tolerating what's draining him to the guy who protects his energy the same way he protects everything else he's built in life. You lower that chronic stress by setting real healthy boundaries by not retaliating when you don't need to, by saying no to the things that you keep saying yes to out of guilt and shame. And ultimately, you can learn that as an adult, you are safe to feel stressful emotions without acting on them, just simply by noticing what is happening in the body, what is happening in the mind, and just making it okay to feel this, like being a parent to yourself. And most men who never deal with this stay stuck in these same stress loops for years. And this is what leads to binge eating and the all or nothing mentality and chasing the next shiny object, but never actually sticking to any of it. And I know this because that used to be me. So care for what is actually running underneath, and then everything else on this list we've talked about finally has the space to breathe and work for you in a consistent manner without you feeling like you're about to snap and throw the towel in every day. If you already know that this is more than just a diet and training problem for you, that is exactly who I built my coaching program for. And we fix the whole system together. It's not another meal plan that gets abandoned in 3 weeks. And this isn't for guys who are looking for some quick fix or, 8-week challenge to get abs. It's for men who are ready to fix this properly, for good. And the link is in the description below for more details. But like we said in the beginning, losing belly fat is a key part of increasing your testosterone. And most guys don't actually know what the full process looks like. So go watch this video to see the brutally honest timeline to reach 15% body fat.